What's going on, YouTube? This is T Reaper, and I am back with another video, and I am back here today with my special guest, Mr. Aussie Gamer. Shout yourself out, bro.
G'day, Aussie Gamer here. How's it all going?
And today we are going to talk about my wonderful, beautiful topic of Titanfall 2. You guys have already heard me rage about this a couple weeks ago. We already know there are a couple, I'm not going to mention names, but we all know there are a couple salty people that don't want to buy this game and don't like it. But Titanfall 2 comes out on Friday for PC, PS4, and Xbox One, and it has been getting great reviews. GameSpot gave it a 9. It's been giving 4 out of 5s. It's the lowest we saw it given so far is a 7 out of 10. So that's the lowest it got. Now, my question for them and the purpose of this video is if the game is getting good reviews and it's coming out on Friday, would you rather play Titanfall 2, people, or would you rather play the crappiest game on God-given Earth, and that is the Infinity Warfare beta, which is now over because it is now Tuesday and it is no longer Monday. And Infinity Warfare comes with the remastered version of Modern Warfare 4, which I will buy because I do want to play Modern Warfare 4, and I am getting it for that version, but I'm not going to get it for shitty Infinity Warfare because that is the crappiest COD, and I'm pretty sure most of the population of YouTube will agree with me. And I saw some pretty funny hate videos on that beta, so I give a quick shout out to everybody who made a hate video and gave their true, honest opinion on that beta because that was funny as hell to listen to. So, Aussie Gamer, what excites you about gaming in general, and why do you do it? And also, what excites you about Titanfall 2?
Well, where to start? I've been gaming for a very long time now, since Pong basically. I remember when I was, a young boy and I first got to play Pong on a black and white TV, and like just the whole idea of being able to move things on a screen was a big thing back then, But I just love shooters, mate. Absolutely love Titanfall 2. You know how passionate I am about that. But I started off young, play a lot of fighters, played Fatal Fury, The Art of Fighting, all those type of games on the Neo Geo on arcade. Love races as well. Played all the Forzas, all that sort of stuff. But shooters are my passion, I guess, mate. Like, there's nothing like playing a game against people with equal skills and even better skills and really putting yourself to the test. So, yeah.
That is a really, really good answer. What I liked about Titanfall 1 is, and I played it from the time it came out in 2014, and I believe it was in March of 2014, if I am correct. I'm pretty sure I'm right. It was either March. I'm pretty sure it was March, so I think it was like 2014. What I liked about that was it was a shooter that was created for someone that could learn how to be good at any type of shooter. So if you were a noob coming into the shooter scene, you never played a shooter before. So if you never played the crappy CODs, or you never played the Battlefields, or you never played the Halos, you could jump into Titanfall and actually learn how to play the shooter dynamic, which is what the AI was there for, which is why they put the AI there. So, if you weren't good enough to face the pilots, which is what we call, the actual player dynamic, you could actually, kill the AIs and feel you were good at actually, killing something. With Titanfall 2, I think it steps its game up a notch, and I feel it feels as if it teaches the consumer that anybody can learn how to be good at a shooter. Not learn the shooter, but be good at it. So I honestly think that if you honestly don't like Titanfall 2 because you feel it's slow, or you feel it's a step back from Titanfall 1, you gotta keep in mind that Titanfall 1, you could legitly, by the end of its lifespan, you could legitly take a level 9 sniper, and you could sit on any map that it gives you, and you could sit there and get up to 30 kills just by sitting in one location. So that game was not fast-paced. That game was not slow-paced. That was not medium-paced. That was as fast as you wanted the game to go. So if you wanted to sit in, by A on hardpoint and just shoot them as they went across the screen, you could do that. With Titanfall 2, it feels that they upped the ante a little bit, and now you actually have to move. You actually have to learn how to stay on your feet instead of just staying in one location.
Yeah, man, I feel you. The thing is, like, I don't know, just for me personally, with Titanfall 1, it wasn't about snipers. Sure, I guess you could do that. But for me, I tended to use carbine more than anything. The
When the game first launched, the carbine was the number one gun to use. You could take that carbine and shoot from point A to point Destiny and kill people that were freaking clicks away across the map, and it would kill them. And then they learned the concept of the nerf after E3, and then they nerfed the carbine. And then people started picking up the sniper. And I'm talking as far as the level 9 sniper. I'm talking about after all the nerfs and stuff, and that, like as the game is now. I'm not like when the game first launched in 2014. No one really had to pick up any other gun other than the carbine, because the carbine was an all-purpose weapon. You could shoot short, long, and medium distance and kill anybody in sight.
I just think a lot of the hate for Titanfall 2 is unwarranted. I mean, I played the first week of the beta, and I was a big fan of Titanfall 1. I played the first week of the beta, and you might as well call it a beta because that pre-alpha stuff isn't fooling anyone, But
yeah,
I really didn't like it. It felt slow. The wall running didn't give you that extra boost like it did in the first game. And Titanfall for me has always been about the movement. Being able to outmove the opponent. You don't really have those cheap skills. I mean, when I jumped onto the IW beta just this weekend and played that, it was
spawn dead.
Yeah, I'm not a slouch on shooters, bro. Like I play a lot of Battlefield 4 and all that sort of stuff, and I do pretty well. But and on COD AW, I wasn't a slouch. It was really, I didn't mind the movement mechanics in that.
I loved the sniper mode in AW. The sniper game mode was awesome. I loved that, especially with with just iron sights.
Yeah, man. Well, one of the games I played, I was using an SMG, and a guy come around the corner, and I had the drop on him, and I shot him first, and I was hitting him, and he just turned around and shot me. I thought, all right, he must have got a headshot. So anyway, I watched the replay, and the dude shoots me in the guts, and he hip fires, and I'm dead. So that's all I needed to know about fucking AW. That was it for me. Not AW, sorry, IW. So yeah, it was just like, nah, this is not the game I want to be playing.
Also, and the thing. No. Oh, keep going. No, keep going.
Yeah, to compare it with Titanfall 2, I mean, it just can't be compared. I mean, you've got your Battlefield type maps, large maps, open areas. You do have your corridors, but you've got a lot of buildings that you can go through from room to room as well. But with IW, it's very small maps, and I found I was getting shot in the back a hell of a lot with that game. So, and it's so fast, like as in not movement speed or any of that, but just you've got no opportunity to turn around and fight back. You're just dead, as soon as you're shot. That was my experience anyway.
I also like that they give us more Titan options in this one. I know you don't you wanted to go in blind, but I just wanted to give a quick shout out to the viewers. I got 4 viewers on this. Thanks so much, guys. Just keep in mind, I am also not looking at my comment section. I probably should be doing that, but I'm not. And if you want, I can do that as we talk. The more options in Titanfall 2 with the Titans, show how much it's actually, grown and how much they've actually improved the options. Because in Titanfall 1, you had 3 Titans and you had like less than 5 weapons. And by the end of the life cycle of Titanfall 1, only one real good weapon was available that you could just use for anything. And this one, it looks like they gave you more options and more, customization. But I think that the regen system is probably going to be the most challenging pieces of it.
Yeah, well, like I said, when I first played the pre-alpha, I really didn't like it the first week, and I was like everyone else, mate. I went online and I voiced my opinion to Respawn. I'd said, look, this isn't the Titanfall that we're all used to. Us Xbox players, of course. Um, it's just it wasn't good enough, mate. They didn't do a good enough job. So
And also, if you
everyone.
if you're also testing this, if you're also testing how good Titanfall 2 is, and you're playing pilot versus pilot, don't do that, please. I know this because I've seen a lot of reviewers review that beta, and I've seen what they've been playing. They were playing pilot versus pilot. 8v8 is cool. Don't get me wrong. I totally agree with you there. But if I'm going to play something called Titanfall, something that has the word Titan in it, I would want to play a game mode that actually gives me my Titan option inside the game. And I would actually want to review the game with the Titan option that I'm being able to be used. Like I've seen options within, the different Titans, and I got to say that there's counteracts for each Titan. Not a single Titan actually can be out, is overpowered to the point where something else cannot take it down. So there's always a counteraction for every action, that no matter what Titan you use. But the whole goal of it is you actually have to learn how to use these Titans properly in order to get good at it. And I think that's a lot of where the hate stems from, at least in my opinion, because I know people don't want to learn how to play a brand new Titanfall game. They want it just to be just like the old one, so they don't have to learn anything new and they don't have to learn new tactics. But guess what, people? Learning new tactics to a new shooter is always part of the game. And a prime example of that would be Battlefield 1. Battlefield 1 stems World War I tactics. But then again, in World War I, in Battlefield 1, I can just pick up my sniper and just go around the map and start shooting people. So, there's the tactic right there.
Mate, I've got over 500 hours in Battlefield 4. And when I jumped onto Battlefield 1, the beta, I play a fair bit of World of Tanks as well. So I thought, oh, yeah, I'll jump in this tank and try it out. And no lie, 56 bar. And I just thought, this is not the game I want to be playing. This is not Battlefield. It's not Battlefield anymore. You can't do that in a tank in Battlefield 4. But it's, my brother bought Battlefield 1 just recently, and I got to admit, mate, I was wrong. They're not OP. They're not overpowered. I was rolling around in a tank, I was getting a few kills, but I was getting wiped out. So, I can admit when I'm wrong. But as far as Titanfall 2 goes, that's where I'm really excited for this game, and I'm pretty sure anyone that knows me from the chat rooms and things, they already know that,
yeah,
mate.
Big shout out to BGST, big shout out to intermediategaming.com, everybody that goes through the media and talks on these topics. Quick shout out to Beastfire. Quick note of interest: Beastfire could not happen tonight because my boy Next Gen had to do his floors, so we're doing Beastfire tomorrow night. So that is why I figure we have Xenoverse 2 coming out tomorrow, which I actually cannot wait to play. And I've been catching up on my Dragon Ball Z history. It looks like they're going to be adding some Dragon Balls Super, which I actually know nothing about. I saw the first two movies, and that's as far as my knowledge goes in that. But I'm looking forward to playing that, and hopefully I beat that by the end of the week. And then by Friday morning, when I pick up Titanfall 2, I'm ready to stamp straight into that for the rest of the week. And I'm also on week work vacation for the next 13 days. So until the 3rd, which is actually the midnight launch of Call of Duty, is actually possibly when I have to go back to work, because they're going to probably show a midnight showing of Doctor Strange, and I work at a movie theater. So that's probably when they're going to say, yo, T Reaper, we're going to need your cleaning skills for Doctor Strange. Come back on Thursday night. I'm going to be like, screw you.
Well, that's pretty good to check out as well. That'll be pretty good, I reckon. So.
Yeah, I like my job, but sometimes I just need a break. I just need, and especially with a week like this coming up with 2 games coming out. You got Xenoverse 2, which is a fighter, which looks like a lot of work, because the first one took me 28 hours to complete, which was kind of interesting. But then I did it a second time once I learned how to boost my character, and it took me less time to do it. So I'm hoping that there's a boosting loophole in number 2, but I don't know if that's going to be the case. But Titanfall 2, the first Titanfall to Gen 10, the first time took me 7 days of gameplay and a quarter, about a month. And then the second time I regened on my friend's tag, and that took me 4 days of gameplay because I did it after the Gen 5 nerf. So, and that was kind of the biggest thing that I have against Respawn and EA, is they listen too much to the people that bitch and moan about the cons of the game. Because if you listen to the bitches too much, then what happens is you basically numb down the game to the where the people that like it will no longer like it. And that's how I felt Titanfall 1 went towards the second quarter of its life cycle, was right after E3, after everybody complained to EA, please nerf these challenges, please nerf this regen system, please nerf this, please nerf that. And after they did it, half the people left, because you have everybody praising Titanfall for selling 14 million copies across everything, which is fine. But I guarantee you go on Xbox Live right now, you're not going to see 14 million people on those goddamn servers. You're going to see less than 5,000 people there. So yeah. I'm telling you, that servers is dead. And that's another thing from, me as from my standpoint. That's one reason I don't care that it's going on PC or especially PS4 this time around, because I have a feeling that they're going to screw up again this time, because I have a feeling people are going to complain about the second one, and they're going to nerf something, and it's going to kill the fan base even more. But at least this time it has a single player. I'm looking forward to seeing what the single player mode looks like, because it looks like the bond between man and machine. that's what it's being stemmed as, is the bond, the famous story between a man and machine, bonding experience. The personal relationship between the pilot and the Titan.
Mm. Well, for me, bro, it's all about the multiplayer. Like, don't get me wrong, I love one-player games as well. If they've got a good enough story, I can hold my interest. But there's nothing like playing against other people, and testing your skills out. But with Titanfall 1, I mean, you hear a lot of people complain and say, well, it's not like Titanfall 1. It's not good enough, it's not close enough to that game. I mean, you get people complaining about that. And then if they had have made it the same as Titanfall 1, they probably would have complained about that, said, oh, it's too similar. I mean, for me personally, I think Respawn held back. I think they had a lot of ideas already set in motion for Titanfall as a franchise, and they thought, right, we're not going to just spiral our ammo on Titanfall 1 because it's only coming out on Xbox. So, and a lot of the reviews have been saying this is the Titanfall that it should have been on on the Xbox. The first one, but I think Respawn have kept their powder dry and they've just unloaded now, and just because it's all going to be on all systems, on all platforms, so they've thought, right, we're really going to just go for it, put everything into this game, make it as good as we can. And I mean, the reviews for so we all know how biased reviews can be towards PlayStation 4. I mean, I play on Xbox primarily just because Xbox Live is the best place to play.
I agree there. Yeah, that is 90% of the reason I own 4 Xbox Ones, people, is because Xbox Live is the best place to play.
For sure, mate. For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I did have a PlayStation. It was just sitting next to the Xbox and gathering dust, and I did play multiplayer.
It was just the dust collector. I mean, and I have next gen, and the guys asking me all the time, Reaper, why don't you buy a PS4? Why don't you invest in Sony? I'm like, I'll do it if it piques my interest. Like, if I see something worth me swiping a card, I'll swipe the card. But the thing is, nothing Sony has shown this generation has said, yo, Reaper, go swipe my card. I'm not going to do that for one game, because the majority of what PlayStation is doing is it's all based on multiplats. I can play my multiplats on Xbox Live, which is the best multiplayer system and the best multiplayer network on earth. The only thing that that battles that argument is PC. But with PSN is complete shit, and I honestly could not invest in a system just for multiplats when I already play my multiplats on Xbox. You can argue that PSN has more IPs than Xbox than Xbox, but they don't pique my interest, so I'm not going to swipe my card. So like you got the next you had Uncharted 4. I wasn't really a big fan of Uncharted. God of War 4 and Kingdom Hearts 3 are the only two games this generation coming up that are probably might pique my interest to buy one of those systems. But the thing is, Kingdom Hearts 3 is slated for Xbox One as well, and God of War
Yeah.
4, we have no idea when the Viking, the Norse mythology version of God of War is coming out. But I say it's slated. I think it's going to be slated towards 2018. I do not think it's coming out in 2017. People
No,
can
neither do I.
people can disagree with me on that, but I personally think it's more slated towards the 2018. But
Mate, we'll have a Scorpio sitting beside our monitors and that before that game's launched. I guarantee it. I'll be
yeah, I
very.
mean, I am looking forward to Red Dead 2. That is actually something that I am going to buy. I mean, I think come 2017, it's going to be more hardware than software for me, because this year has been all software. I mean, I bought two Xbox S's this year, but like it was all games. Like I had my game catalog is like is well worth over $500 this year, and it's like it's amazing that 2017 it's not going to be that many games. It's going to be the Scorpio and it's going to be a new TV, but as for games, there's probably going to be 5 or 6 of them on my list, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I know what you're saying. I'm pretty picky when it comes to games. Like, I don't have a large budget that I can just go out and blow heaps of money on new games all the time. And the thing I found with PlayStation is, I mean, how many times do people have to get lied to before they realise that, they're getting shit at? I mean, seriously. I mean, there's so many titles, and PlayStation is just, oh, look, it's trash in my opinion. It really is.
No, no,
On it, but far out.
it's kind of fun. I love the 8 teraflop. I love the 8 tera. This thing has 8 teraflops. This shit has this shit has 8 teraflops. Everybody, no, it doesn't have 8 freaking teraflops. It has 4 teraflops. It has new feature that can turn 4 into 8. Scorpio has the same concept, and it can turn 6 into 12. That's the way it works.
Yeah. I mean, by the end of the week, it would have been 1,000 teraflops the way the ponies were talking about it, mate. Like, that was so hyped about it. It's just unreal. They honestly think it's going to be able to compete with the Scorpio. I mean, it's going to even have a hard time running the VR, That's my opinion.
But my opinion is you can release the Pro, but you got to release the software. And if you don't release the software with it's the bread without the butter. Like, you can release an awesome system. But if you don't release the games with it, why do I want to buy it? Like, at least if I game with a couple, I game with a couple guys, and one of them, he didn't like any of the games this generation for Xbox. He's a big Call of Duty guy, and he's like, I have nothing. And this was just last night, and he was like, I have nothing to play. I'm so bored. Like what do you do? I'm like, I use my system for more than just gaming. I use it for my media player. I use it for Netflix. I use it for Hulu. Hell, I even use it for the wonderful TV feature. But it's like it's when it's time to game, I game. When the game is beaten, it's done. It's over with. It's shelved. But the whole thing with the PlayStation is there's no good outer reason besides gaming for me to buy it. So at least if I buy an Xbox S, I know I get HDR gaming. I know I get a 4K Blu-ray player. I know I get a slimmer console. I know I get all these other things with the system that I'm buying. If I'm not just interested in it just for gaming, with PlayStation, it's the exact opposite. If you're buying it because you're interested in gaming, but if they don't give you the games with it, what's the point? And then you can argue that there's a whole bunch of indies, there's a whole bunch of stuff on the the PlayStation now. That's all well and great, ponies. I understand that, but the thing with me is none of that stuff interests me. So that is I wouldn't count those unless something is brand new. So the next brand new thing I believe is The Last Guardian. or
Yeah,
the last raccoon guardian, as we wonderfully like to call it on here.
yeah. No, well, mate. Yeah, and that's like, what was that, on PS3 or something like that? That was the last time it was on. How long ago was that supposed to be released? You know,
It's going on a 10-year span, I think, right now. And I could be
yeah.
wrong. Don't kill me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's been on a 10-year working cycle, and it
Yeah,
looks it looks like a knockoff of the Never Ending Story, except with one dragon you get two, because
yeah,
I think there's two last raccoon guardians in that game. But I mean, I don't mean to knock the Pony Station, because I used to have one. I used to game
yeah.
on PS2. I used to play. I played PS1. The only thing I never owned was a PS3, and I never owned a PS4. I've played both of them. I've played them at events. I've played them at people's houses, but I've never. I see no reason to own one if I'm not going to use it, and it has to give me a reason to use it. And speaking of which. The Nintendo Switch. What do you think of it?
Not for me, mate. Like, I've never really been a Nintendo player. I mean, I played, Mario on Super Nintendo. I played the old Mortal Kombat back in the day. Always preferred it on Sega because it had the blood and violence and all that type of stuff on it.
Yeah, when we were kids, we loved blood and violence. That's what that was the livelihood of games. Is if does it have blood and gore? I'll buy it.
Yeah, it was such a big deal back then. I remember waking up on Christmas morning and had the old Sega Mega Drive, because before that we were playing on the Master System too, and we got Mortal Kombat and what was it? It was Jurassic Park, where you can be that raptor as well. And mate, we thought it was the best thing ever, and it was at the time. It was fantastic.
I remember playing Turok on N64. I
Mm.
remember playing that hunting down the raptors with the bow and arrow and the freaking weird guns that Turok lets you use. It was that was
Yeah,
like the bloodiest game I played before the OG Xbox came out. The only
yeah,
game that I was not allowed to play as a kid was GTA. That was the only series I was not allowed to touch due to my mother's overprotectiveness. Anything else I could play. If it was just blood and gore, I could touch it. But if it was anything to do with adultery content, I could not play it. But I was able to play Quake. I was able to play Wolfenstein 3D. I was able to play all blood and gore games when I was a kid. It just could not
yeah.
have to do with anything of the stuff. Like, here's a prime example of a game that I know for a fact I would not be allowed to play back in the day. Mafia 3. Mafia 3
Yeah.
is the most segregated game on the face of the planet. Very good story. Very
Yeah.
good story. Very good story, but very segregated and very back in the day, 1960s. I know for a fact back in 1990s when I was a kid, I would not be allowed to play something like that.
Well, I guess me and my brother were pretty lucky. We didn't have that. Our parents are a lot more lenient than than it sounds like your parents were. But basically, like I said, it started out, we had an Atari, and then we went to the Master System 2, then we went to the Mega Drive, because back then you were either kind of a Nintendo guy or a Sony guy. Sorry, not a Sega guy. So we were more Sega than anything. And
Yeah, I remember playing Golden Axe on Sega. That
I
was
love
fun.
that. Yeah, that was good.
In
But
school there was a classroom that actually had a Sega in it. So during our break during our lunchtime periods, we always used to play Golden Axe on the Sega in middle school. That was always fun. But I
we'll
remember
see.
I remember back in the I remember back in the day, I was the only kid in middle school that had the OG Xbox. My family
Yeah.
was the only one that had it, and the everybody else either owned a PS2 or a GameCube. So it's like the other three friends that I had, they all had PS2s or GameCubes, and I was the only one with Xbox. Then a couple years later, the Xbox Live system network launched, and I was the first one to have an Xbox Live tag, and that tag still exists to this day. It doesn't get used.
Right.
It doesn't get used very often anymore because none of the kids that play games live at home anymore. But that tag still exists, and it is still 10 years old, and that tag would have been, that if that tag had actually been mine, it would have had a lot of gamer score by now. But it's,
Oh, mate, I know feeling like I had the original. I basically went from worked my way up. You know, I had, like I said, Atari. Then we went up through the Master System too, and I had Commodore 64. You know, and went up to PlayStation and. I love Twisted Metal too. Me and my brother played that game so much. Like that was a fantastic game.
I remember store my biological dad. He had an N64 in his dorm room, and he taught it at college, and he couldn't get past the spider, beginning
Oh
spider
yeah,
in the Ocarina of Time. He couldn't get past it. So one day when I was visiting him, and I was just a very small kid, but I still remember this. When across the hallway in the dorms, knocked on the college kid's door. College kid answers the door. He's like, "Yo, I can't get past this game. Can you come beat it?" And the kid is like, "Yeah, sure." Comes in the game, takes the N64 controller, does it within less than a minute and a half, and then walks out the door again. I'm like, that was such an easy. All you had to do was keep hitting it in the eye with the slingshot. That's all you had to
yeah.
keep doing, was just hitting it with the slingshot, and then it would have gone down. But it's
Just
just
walk,
like,
gets past it, and then drops the controller and walks straight out.
yeah, yeah. The only thing he enjoyed playing in his later years was Madden. I remember
Oh,
Madden
something
'04.
then.
Madden '04. Madden '04 was the most, unrealistic Madden to date. You throw a Hail Mary all the way across 500 yards.
Yeah, right.
Nowadays in Madden 2017 or Madden 2016, you can't do that now. You can't do a
Yeah.
Hail Mary 500 yards. The thing will get intercepted.
You'll be talking gibberish to me as far as American football goes, because I know absolutely nothing about American football. So I can talk about AFL till I'm blue in the face, Australian league football, but yeah, not so much NFL. But yeah, with Titanfall though, man, like back to the topic at hand, I mean, it was getting a lot of hate for all the wrong reasons, and I mean, everyone was judging it, and it was a pre-alpha, a beta, and look, I've been guilty of doing that in the past myself. I mean, COD isn't like with COD IW. Yes, I just bagged it out previously, and it is a beta, but I mean, it's not going to change that much. Everyone was complaining about it, about Titanfall 2. And the thing is, Respawn listens. They're like Microsoft. Microsoft listens to their customers. Sony doesn't. Sony doesn't give a crap what their customer and fan base, say. But Respawn listened. They changed it up. They increased the movement speed. They made it so going from wall to wall will get you going faster. And that's what it's all about for me. It's about learning the routes from the beginning of the map to the end of the map. Best places to get that speed going up and killing as many people as you can on the way through, getting your Titan out, and then getting into that and fighting around in that. So, yeah, I mean, Titanfall is where it's at. It's the future of first-person shooters, that and Battlefield. There are no other shooters that interest me at the moment. Doom was really good. My brother was a lot better at it than me. But, yeah, I mean, Titanfall, it's where it's at, mate.
I think Titanfall 2 is going to be the number one shooter that I am going to be interested in playing with pretty much for the rest of the season. And I can't condone hate if the hate stems from the concept that it's not like the original, but you haven't completed the original. And
Yeah.
I know a lot, and that's where a lot of this hate comes from. By the way, can you see anything on the screen?
No, man, just your symbol.
Okay, good. Okay, just making sure. The and that's where a lot of the hate comes from. Is it's like, oh, this is not like Titanfall 1, but you take a little deeper look into their concept, and they didn't even finish Titanfall 1. So that's where my aggravation comes from. My aggravation comes from is you want to hate on a game, but you didn't finish the original one. So how on earth can you give the hate that the second one, if it even deserves it? How can you give it hate if you can't, if your past experience doesn't allow you to give that hate because you never even gave it the full experience that you were actually supposed to give it. You probably
Mm.
played Titanfall 1 for maybe up to level 50, if that, and then you say, oh, I know everything about Titanfall, this game is awesome. But you didn't
Yeah.
go the extra mile, and you didn't go, and if you went the pro ranking system, and you actually did competitions, that's cool. I understand that. But
Mm.
the main issue is, like, half these people that are hating on it didn't even play Titanfall 1's to its fullest, or they didn't complete it all the way. And
Mm.
you don't understand the first one until you actually go through everything it has to teach you through its regen system. And that is
Yeah.
just, again, that is just my humble opinion. I hate people that hate. Hate is gonna hate, but haters ain't gonna hate, and that is not something that actually people say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, after playing Titanfall 2 the second week, I heard a lot of that about Titanfall 1. I thought, and I hadn't played it for a while, so I went back and, I thought, wow, what are they talking about? I mean, it felt like so much was missing. Respawn's added all the content, all this new content that people were asking for in the first one that they said was lacking. All the DLC is free. They're not trying to be greedy and take as much money off you as they can get. All the DLC is free. I mean, you're not getting free DLC with Battlefield 1, are you? You've got to pay for it. And every other game, you've got to pay for it pretty
Yeah, the
much as
second
well.
one, the DLC is free.
Being very generous. They're giving extra maps. People said, oh, we want Angel City back. Why isn't that in the game? All right, there you go, guys. Here's Angel City. I mean, what more do Respawn have to do to make these clowns happy? You know what I'm saying, bro? It's just does my head in every time. Just I can't
Give the ability to be good at it, I'm guessing.
I mean, you're getting 24 different weapons with the game. You're getting 4 assault rifles, 4 SMGs, 3 LMGs. You got your 3 snipers, your 2 shotguns. You got a new addition, which is grenadiers. So you got 4 of those as well.
And they gave you your C4 back, which is actually the positive thing. I can't wait to use that C4 again.
You've got 6 ordnance. I mean, how much more do you want from a game?
But they are only giving us 9 maps. Do you think that's enough?
To start with. But here's the thing about that, mate. Titanfall, as you know, it's a game of movement. You've got to learn those maps to get proficient at the game. I mean, anyone can just camp and kill people, but if you kill me and you're camping, just stay where you are. I'll be back in a heartbeat to sort you out. Don't worry about that. You either get another kill on me or I'll get you. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, campers die in Titanfall. I mean, it's all about the movement. It's all about the speed, trying to maintain that momentum and move through the map, taking scalps as you go, building up and getting your Titan.
And if you don't learn to move, you're gonna die.
Yeah, you're toast, mate. You're toast. All these clowns, it's a joke. It's not the way it's meant to be played. No, it's wall running. It's rooftop.
And learning the momentum in Titanfall 2 is not going to be that hard. Learning the beta's momentum actually wasn't that hard. Getting in the right lobbies was kind of hard. What do you think about the new network system that they employ? Do you think that's going to take off okay?
Well, look, I had a problem with it as well, mate. Everyone, as much as I like Titanfall 2, if they haven't changed that issues, because we had real problems getting in and playing with friends. I mean, they did patch it a little bit towards the end there, but it was still, pretty difficult to get in games with mates and stuff. And then you had to, while you were playing it, after that game finished, you had to actually literally quit out to rejoin with your friends, or you'd end up getting chucked into different games straight away. When it reloads, you're all separated again. So I'm pretty sure they're going
to. That was a pain in the ass having to keep leaving and then keep creating lobbies, and then everybody had to press the button at the exact same time that you started the launch of the lobby, which was dumb as hell. That was definitely a con that I hope they fix with the opening launch. At least if you create the lobby. The lobby stays as long as no one leaves the lobby. So if you create a lobby of 4 people, the lobby can keep playing matches, continuously without having to think. And that probably was, because in betas, in pre-alphas, some features don't work correctly, and they warn you this when you start off the when you start up the concept. This is a pre-build of the game. Some of these things might not work correctly, so that might have been part of the issue with the networking on the Titanfall 2 new concept. But I personally think that was a good thing, because you can then create your own personal communities inside Titanfall 2, and you don't have to if you want to create a humongous community, you can all play matches together, and it's kind of like the clubs on Xbox Live. Only this time you see all the tags on the screen, which is going to be pretty cool.
Plus, they're adding all the new, all the old game modes as far as attrition goes, cap the flag, last Titan standing, and that new one, Coliseum, one-on-one. That's going to be really different. I mean, not many shooters give you the opportunity to be able to do that. I mean, you can jump into a large map and fight each other, sure, and do it that way. But, it's going to be good to be able to, mouth off at someone, or have them mouth off at us, send us a message or whatever, and be able to go, right, bitch, let's sort this out in the Coliseum. You know what I mean? So,
yeah, definitely.
The boys. So, yeah, it's going to be good, mate. I am really pumped for this game, and I'll be standing out the front of EB before that pitch opens, and I'll be ready to get my copy and get home and start taking scalps. That's for sure.
I'll definitely be up at 9:40 in the morning, getting ready to pick it up. Go pick it up at 10. Come home. I wonder actually how large the game is going to be. I'd actually like to know that. Because that way I know how long the install time. The one thing about Battlefield 1, which was actually kind of cool, it was only 40 gigs, and I shit you not, it only took 25 minutes to download.
Wow.
That thing took 25 minutes to get installed. I was like,
here's the difference,
wow.
Mate. Here's the difference. In Australia, guess how long Battlefield 1 took me to download?
How long?
Again, 8 hours.
8 hours to install 40 gigs? Oh, my God. Oh, I would have been pissed.
That's the sort of internet I'm dealing with, mate. So it's a surprise I even get any kills at all. But soon I'm getting the NBN on, so National Broadband Network. We're going to have fibre to the door, all of that. That's meant to be happening before the 31st. So, yeah, I'll see how many cat
31st is Halloween. Some people wanted me to go out for Halloween, and I was like, no, I want to play Titanfall. Screw you. I would be at home. I would be at home enjoying the wonderful, the witches holiday in front of my TV.
Yeah, bro. Not for me. We don't really celebrate Halloween down here in Australia, so yeah, it's not really something that we spend a lot of time on. We'll leave that for you guys over in America, I think. But yeah, I'll be on Titanfall pretty much all the time. And if I'm not, I am going to buy Battlefield 1. I mean, I did have a bitch about it in my video, and I said how I didn't like it, and I thought the tanks were OP, but I was wrong.
And there was a massive update last night. There was a 700 megabyte update for Battlefield 1, so they might have twerked some stuff with it.
Did you hear what the day one patch is for Titanfall? It's massive.
What is the day one patch?
It's about 40 meg.
That's not a big patch. That's not a big patch.
Day one patch. It's only 40 odd meg, I think. So yeah, it's bugger all. So
that's kind of small. That's not big. That's 40 megabytes is a small patch.
With our Australian internet, I might get it done in a couple of days, I reckon. So we'll see how we go.
No, I mean I'm kind of I always I always make sure I install updates while I don't do the in updates later. I do them as the game is installing. So it was like the most games ask me for an update as as the installation is taking place. I'm like, do you want to update now or later? And I'm like, I'll update now. Then be fine. The one thing I'm happy about is I actually don't have to do a system update every freaking every couple days, because my systems are always on. And for those who are watching, this is how my day works. So right now, as me and Aussie Gamer are having this one conversation, my system is on in the background playing a YouTube video. I leave my system on 12 hours. So say I wake
Not,
up, say I
I
wake
see
up
you on
at
live TV.
say I wake up at 12 o'clock, 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I wake up, I go in my living room, I turn on my TV, Xbox Xbox is on. Then it's on throughout the day. Then when it's time to go to bed, I turn it off. I go back into my bedroom. I turn that Xbox on, turn that on, and I put on my media player, put on my Dragon Ball folder, and have that run throughout the night. And then I go to sleep. I wake up to whatever episode it pops on, and it just recycles. So one system is always on. So my tag is always collecting online time. So if anybody who is looking at my banner on my channel is wondering where that 7,000 hours comes from, that's how I do it, and that's how it works. You always have to keep one on
Oh,
for 12 hours. So 12 hours on in one room, 12 hours on in the other room. And the only time it is not on, and the only time that I am not on, all the time, is when I'm at work on the weekends. So that's actually why I'm happy that I'm able to take off 13 days, because I can add an extra 13 days of time to my exit. So I have the white S in my living room, and I have the Gears of War S in my bedroom.
nice, nice. I ended up getting the day one console when that first launched, and then after the 1 terabyte Call of Duty one come out, I got that, but more so not for Call of Duty, but more so for just the 1 terabyte feature. I wanted
The
that.
AW one.
Yeah, the AW
Yeah,
one.
I had that one.
Yeah,
Theoretically I've had six. I've bought six Xbox Ones in my lifetime. So
but
technically,
Microsoft.
I had the day one. I had the day one console.
Yep.
Then 6 months into its lifespan, I traded in for another black one, just a regular one, because 6 months into the Xbox One life cycle, they updated the systems, so the launch errors were no longer in the 6 months models down the road. So I got one of those models, and I have then I got that one, and I still have the Kinect, and then I kept that one for the remainder of the year, and then in 2014 I got the AW one. So then I had two, and then last year with 2015 I got the Halo 5 one, and I gave the AW one back. So I already gave that one. I gave I traded in the AW one for my Xbox for my Xbox One S. Sorry, my white one. And then I gave the black one to my brother. So then I only have I have the Halo one, and then I had the Gears one, and then I have the white S one, and then I have a black, like the black one. So again, I have a black Xbox S that belongs to my brother. I have the Halo 5 Xbox One 1 terabyte. I have the Gears of War 4 One S, and I have the white Xbox One S. So I technically have four now that still exist, but two of them were traded in. So
or do you use surround sound? I got Dolby surround sound. I just
Oh,
find
I use a headset. I use a headset. And I have tons of those. Don't have as many as Mr. Next Gen 720. I don't have freaking 20 headsets. But
I think Astros are pretty much overrated. In my opinion, I've got friends online that have Astros, and they.
Well, I had an Astros for the longest time, and then my Astros broke on me. So I had my Astros, and then my Astros broke, and I had to get new ones. The ones I'm actually wearing right now, that are actually connected to my Yeti mic, are the A40s, the white ones, the ones that come with the sound amp that modulate the sound. So that one's, but those are also for PC. So that's the way I use it. That's one. Then I have the A50s that I rarely use, that are right next to my TV. And then I have those Atlas headsets. Those Titanfall headsets.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, they're
I
good.
use those. Those are the ones that are connected to my Elite controller that I use every day. So those are the ones that I use. I feel that the A50s, they're a really good headset, but the lifespan of the battery is 8 hours. So
Yeah,
I have to charge them every single time. So that's kind of the most annoyingest part. So that's one reason I'll only use them. And then of course when I start up a game, I'll start off the Groove app and my music, and then I'll play that in the background as long as I'm playing a game. And then when I'm done playing the game, I just turn the music off. But
see, I cannot play music in the background. Like, I need to be able. I think, the good thing about having surround sound is you can hear people running up really well behind you, all that sort of stuff. And I found that.
Yeah, I love that feature too. But I only use those in games like Halo or COD. Like games like Titanfall, I don't really need the footstep sound back in the background. Plus, most of the time, even with the music, I can still hear the people in the game because the game volume is what is primary, secondary to the background music of the actual like audio sound. So most of the time, I still hear people in the game more than I hear the music. I just like having something. I like getting in the mood, and I like having the feel of of actual like action in my background. I recently, this is going to sound massively depressing to the viewers and whatnot, but like I said before, I work at a movie theater, and they have the Titanic song, and I had that Titanic song stuck in my head all day long. So I downloaded that and I put that on my Xbox.
Oh, no. Really?
Yeah.
Stuck in your head and you thought, oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
I haven't heard it
I
enough.
just went and set it up, and I just downloaded it and I put it on my OneDrive, and then it pops up on my Groove. That I haven't played a game with that in the background yet though, because that would sound massively depressing while I was playing. But yeah, that would be bad funny.
One will go on crap, is it? Is that the one you're talking about? That one with that chick, Canadian chick. What's the bloody name?
Celine Dion.
Yes.
Yeah, Celine Dion. Yeah, life will go on. Yeah, that one. Yeah, the ending song, the depressing ending song. Yeah.
The more I learn about you, the more I need to kill you on Titanfall. I tell you.
Yeah. But it's like I listen to Titanic as I play Titanfall. As I watch the bond between man and machine. Life will go on.
God.
No, but don't worry, I will never put that in a montage because my God, that would look mad depressing on actual screen. My God.
Yeah,
but I'm always looking for suggestions for montage songs. So it's just like, whenever I create a montage, I like putting the feel of the video with the actual music. But finding that feel of that music is hard as hell in this day and age. Even, you can search through 100 rock songs, but you can only find 3 of them that work. And
you got to watch out for content strike as well too. So
but the content strike only goes against the actual making money of it, so it doesn't bother me. So yeah, I don't do the montages for money. That's the only thing that strikes it. So it will just strike the dollar sign. So you won't make money off that video, but you can it will still play the video and people can still watch it and whatnot. But the biggest one was the Angel with the Shotgun with my Halo 5 one was like the most famous one from last year.
That, man. I watched that one. That was really good. I enjoyed that one.
That was the first one.
The sniping is on point.
You liked my sniping on that one. Yeah, I want to make 3 montages this coming holiday season, and this is December, and I want to redo 3 montages with 3 of the most favorite songs that I used in the past year on my playlist. So if anybody wants to help me out, that'd be great, because I want to know what 3 songs you thought fit the montages the best, and those would be the 3 songs that I pick for the holiday wind up.
Yeah.
So it's just like Get Me Out of Hell would be one, Angel with a Shotgun would be one, or Centuries would be one. So it's like pick 3 songs out of the montage list that you hear in the video and say, I want, this would be number 1 pick, number 2 pick, and number 3. Because what I did with year 1 was I took I had 2 of my best friends, look at the montages that I did on my Xbox and choose those songs, and that's the ones I remastered into, actual, PC, looking montages. And it actually, I want to redo the, I want to do the concept again, but this time with the actual songs that I used over it. I like the ones that I used the Resident Evil and the um uh the this is War, I think.
Yeah,
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 yeah. This is War with the Witcher 3 concept in it. That was actually
yeah. I
really
like
fun.
that.
That was actually really fun to make.
That was a good one. I mean, as you know, I'm only fairly new to the old new YouTube game, and I mean, I've been gaming, as I said, for a bloody long time, and it just didn't interest me to make a gaming channel at all. But all my favourite gaming channels, uh, they were all shitting on Titanfall 2. And like I said, mate, I've got nothing against those guys whatsoever because everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah, that's the way I
Everyone's
feel. Everybody, you might not agree
everyone's
with everybody with what all of us say, but everybody is entitled to their own wonderful, graceful opinion. And
yeah, and that opinion's
that's what I
wrong.
love. That's
Don't accept
what I love about everybody's channels. Everybody gives their opinion on certain topics, and you either like our opinion or you don't like it,
Yeah,
or sometimes
exactly.
you agree, you half agree and you half disagree.
Mm,
It's a matter of it's a matter of men, mending the each opinions together and see who
yeah,
do you agree with more, or who do you think has the more the more insightful view of the concept that people are trying to talk about. And that's just what I love about doing this. And I definitely would not be here without my supporters. I would definitely not be here without the support and the encouragement that I've gotten throughout the last year from everybody. Intermediate gaming, the subscribers, everybody is to thank for how far I've come and how far I've progressed. And it has been a really, really fun time doing this stuff.
yeah.
And
Well,
I actually learned how to broadcast people. I actually learned, but to be brutally honest, that goes out to Mr. B Shadows, because he showed me how to hook it up, because next gen was having no problem after the update, and I'm like, how is he doing this? I have no idea how to actually broadcast something. But then again, I also couldn't find my video, but I know people are watching because it says I have 5 viewers, so I know people can view are viewing this, but I actually don't know where the comment section is. So
yeah,
I'm guessing I'll find that after I end it and see all the see the comments that are there. But I actually could not find it. I did check though. I did try. I was actually looking for it, but I could not find it on the actual screen.
yeah. Well, everyone knows who follows the usual game, the game YouTube channels. What my opinions are of Titanfall. I've made them very, very clear in BGSC and in the chat boxes and things like that. On Mooch's channel and also on Crap's channel when he's had things going and GKB and all that. And I've made my opinion pretty clear. I've been fighting for this game for a long time because I just felt that all the hate that it's getting and still receiving even now after all these reviews, you still, I've got people on Twitter that, I was going at it this morning on Twitter still about Titanfall.
You're having a fun time with him on Twitter, right?
It was me versus the world, and I was loving it. But I thrive under that sort of stuff.
Well, I'm kind of curious where everybody's opinion is going to be. Maybe 2 weeks from now, when the game is released, it's out. What do people think of it after seeing all the positive reviews, and Call of Duty is out? But the funny thing is, and this is going to be the funniest thing on the earth, is you have the big shooters this year. You have Battlefield 1,
Yep.
you have Titanfall 2, you have
Mhm.
you have Call of Duty Modern Warfare 4 remastered, and Infinity Warfare, which is in my
And don't
personal
forget,
opinion,
don't forget Doom
sucks.
as well. Doom come out, but I don't think that got a whole lot of love as far as multiplayer
Oh, no,
goes.
no one likes it, but I'm just saying that's going to be on the pro circuit. They have no choice but to put it on the pro circuit. So that's kind of the
Call of
funniest part.
Duty,
But I feel really bad for the MLG players that are going to be playing Infinity Warfare, because
mate.
half the population
Imagine having a
hates
Call of
this
Duty
game.
channel. Imagine having a Call of Duty channel, and as far as that game has fallen, having to play it and pretending that you like it. I
Yeah,
mean,
that's gotta suck.
Don't get me wrong.
I feel for Drifter and Thunder. I feel and Sniper Wolf. I feel for you guys because that's got to suck.
My heart goes out to them, man, because the last good Call of Duty I played, and it was Advanced Warfare, and a lot of people didn't like it, but I like the ability to be able to be getting shot and then get the hell out of the way, get out of the way, turn it around, and get the kill. That's what I want in a game. I don't
And
want to be able
and I
to
think Advanced Warfare had a better DLC concept than Black Ops 3. I think it had
yeah,
better interesting DLC in my opinion.
mate,
The Ghost ones were interesting, but I think
yeah,
AW was more creative.
yeah,
But the thing with AW was it was like the COD that got your boots off the ground. It was the
yeah,
first one that got it off the ground. This
yeah,
one now it's like it to me Infinity Warfare feels like a combo of AW movement and
mm-hmm,
Ghost hit system. That is what it feels
yeah,
like. I watched this guy say it feels like Destiny and Battlefront. I don't know where you get that combo, but my God, I mean
what
maybe it's because everybody is robots, but
is this doing? What
yeah,
is he thinking? I mean, and the
yeah,
wall, it seems like after you've played a game as fluid as what Titanfall is, and then you go to that and wall run, like I attempted to try and see what this wall running was going to be like, and there is no advantage to it because you're quite slow when you're on the wall, and you're an easy target.
in
And
Infinity Warfare or in
yeah,
Infinity Warfare.
Infinity
Okay,
Warfare,
okay.
in Infinity Warfare, because Black Ops 3 was the first, and I love Black Ops 2. I played that to death, played Zombies to death. I really enjoyed that game. And I love Black Ops 1. I mean, they were both really good games. But when I found out that Black Ops 3 had wall running and that they'd stolen that off Titanfall, that was it. It was just like, no, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to play it. Come up with your own ideas, guys. It's not that hard. You know what I mean? They don't need to rip off a game like Titanfall. So, yeah, I was bitterly disappointed when I heard about that they were going to have the wall running and
I
all that
think
sort of
I
stuff.
think I think day one is gonna be story for me, and then it's gonna go right into multiplayer. And I
Yeah.
don't I don't know how long the the gen system is gonna take me, but I hope to
Mhm.
God it takes me at least until Christmas time because I would
Well,
love to do
I
that.
reckon it's
Now
going to take a
don't get me
while.
wrong, I have a lot of things to stop and play. I have
Mhm.
to Infinity Warfare story I have to stop and play. I have to, play, Modern Warfare Remastered. I gotta play Watch Dogs 2, Final Fantasy 15, and Dead Rising 4. But
Yeah.
besides, running through those games, are the is going to be Titanfall 2's multiplayer, and I am really massively excited. The other games that I did not mention, if people were wondering, did he forget? I didn't forget about Gears of War 4. But to me, I bought Gears of War 4. I didn't buy it for horde mode. I didn't buy it for I didn't buy it for multiplayer. I'm not a third person shooter multiplayer type of person.
Me neither. Me neither.
Yeah, but I did buy it for story, and I'll tell you what, I beat that in 8 hours and 27 minutes. I am still wanting to finish the co-op achievement because I do want to beat it on the co-op to get the co-op achievement, and I'm on Act 4 with somebody right now, but he works during the week, so I will get that achievement. But as far as Gears of War 4, I will put that aside. But I do know that its pro circuit did begin, so I do know Gears of War 4 is actually is actually in full swing, and it is starting up and people are massively excited. So I'm not hating on those fans. Gears of War
Yeah.
4 is is one of the top three icons of Xbox. It's
Oh, for sure.
it's
Absolutely.
especially this generation, and it would be Halo, it'd be Gears, it'd be Forza. Those would be the top three icons. And also, as far as the Recore concept goes,
Mm.
I played Recore. I liked it, but it was one of
Yeah.
those games that I got to the end and I just couldn't get past the tower. I got to level
Really?
30, so I'm capped. I'm capped out. I'm capped out.
Yep.
I'm totally capped. I can't go any higher. And I'm on level 3, but I can't get past level 3. So I have to go through level 4 and level 5 to get to the ending of the game. And I've already beaten the last the last level, the last boss and everything. It's all done. The only thing I have to do is beat the tower, and that's it. That's the only thing I'm stuck on. But
Yeah.
I basically decided to put it down and pick it up at a later date because if that's the only thing I have to work on, it has to do with a lot of acrobatics and a lot of aerial tricks, and you have to you have to judge the time in place when you jump, because it's one of those old school games that if you jump too soon or too late, you fall to your death. So
Okay.
it's the acrobatic puzzle of the tower that is giving me trouble. But
Okay.
I did progress to that location pretty quick, but I did have to do some boosting to get to level 30. But it was actually pretty fun. But
Yeah.
I do not think that the story was all there, but I did like it. I mean, the story was okay. I mean, I could, I'd be good with playing a second one. But I think out of the, I can't say which game. I can't say someone asked, T Reaper, what do you think your best game of 2016 is? I can't answer that question yet because I'm not done with my library yet.
No.
I still have Titanfall. I still have
Yeah.
Xenoverse. I still have COD. I still have Watch Dogs. I still have Final Fantasy, and I still have Dead Rising 4 Div 2. So I won't be able to answer
And
that question until the holiday season.
yeah, you've got to kind of put them into categories as well. You can't compare, a racer with a shooter, with a platformer, with an adventure games type thing. I mean, obviously they do when they bring out Game of the Year and that, but I mean, you've got to play each game on its merits. That's my opinion anyway. Um,
Yeah, I mean, but I think the longest game I gotta say is gonna be Final Fantasy 15, without a
yeah,
doubt.
it's damn long.
I say that's gonna be the longest one to run. I gotta say
Mm.
that. I'm
And
pretty
it's one
sure
of the
I'm
best
right.
looking games to look at as well. It's
Yeah,
really
and
good.
it's supposed to have a really good it's supposed to have a really good story attached to it. And the thing I love about it is it's running Kingdom Hearts style this time around. So it's not turn based. It's actual, it's like,
Action.
it's third person action, reaction, time.
Yeah,
XY hit the enemy.
yeah,
That's the reason I'm buying it for combat. If it was another turn based Final Fantasy, I would not be buying it. But if it's just
no,
for the open adventure, action, I'm all for it, and I can't wait to play it. And it's at the end of November, so it's the 29th. But
yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing how the rest of the year goes and what I would put the category is into my personal game of the year, because I did play Overwatch in the beginning of the year. I did play The Division. I did play Quantum Break, which I did twice. But I gotta say, right now, as for stories, I think Gears of War 4 reaches my heart with the story. But
yeah.
I have to wait till the end of the year before I say does anything beat Gears of War story, because the Gears of War story was the opening for two more. So it's
Okay,
not it's not a standalone game. As far as multiplayer, I'm without a doubt I'm pretty sure my most dedicated multiplayer is going to be Titanfall 2.
yeah. Hey T, How did you feel about playing Gears of War 3? Did you think it was, or sorry, Gears of War 4? Did you feel it was as emotional as the other games were? Did it draw you in, and were you was happy with the way the characters played out?
It was interesting to see Marcus as an AI character. I gotta
Yeah,
say, it was after playing with him throughout my childhood, and without with him being the main character of usage throughout
yeah,
all through 1, 2, and 3. After actually having him as part of the story of the AI, that was an interesting part of the game, and I liked it. The one thing I disliked about that game was the fact that the boss was too easily beaten,
really?
and he wasn't really a boss character, because I don't did you already beat it?
No, no, I haven't even had the chance
Okay,
to play.
then I can't go any farther because I am not going to spoil it. But those who watching it and those who have already beaten it know what I'm talking about. But it was something that they could have in depthly evolved over that personal swarm guy. But
Yeah,
they didn't. It was kind of like a one. You basically hit him once, and you fight him once, and that's the end of the deal. The
I did.
but I like the ending. The ending was awesome. I love the
Yeah,
mechs. The mechs were beautiful, and they were beautifully
yeah.
designed, and they were beautifully built.
Okay. Yeah, because I heard that the female character had a big part to play in the story. One of the AI characters.
She did it, and at the end, the you actually she's gonna have a bigger role to come through speculation, but you would have to play the game. I mean, I'm not no, I gave it a I gave it a 9. I think I just what
Yeah,
I said about it. I gave it a 9 out of 10, and it was for something that I finally did on normal, and I didn't do it on casual. It did take me all throughout the Thursday of the Ultimate release, and that's when I got the console as well. I played it throughout the Ultimate release day, and I beat it on that Friday night. So but I was number 3 to do it, and the only two who actually finished it before me. Shout out to these people were Mr. Ironwolf and Mr. 100. Mr. 100 and Mr. Ironwolf, you two were the only ones that finished the game before me. So I give you props for doing that. Everything else, I've come in second place this year. So it's like on my friends list record board. So I was number 2. I was number 2 to beat Mafia 3. I was number 2 to beat Battlefield 1. So I'm actually happy that I was in number 3 at least once. But I'm kind of curious what my record place in Titanfall 2 is going to be, and I'm gonna work my ass off to see if I hit number 1, because that's gonna be a fun concept.
Yeah, when I first get Titanfall 2, my first thing will be, I'm not going to be playing against people. I'll probably just jump into the maps and learn the movement system, try and master it as best I can before I jump in and play multiplayer. But for me personally, that's what it's all about, mate. It's multiplayer.
I'm looking forward to seeing which loadout fits me the best. That's the top challenge, because in the pre-alpha they didn't have my my favorite ordnance, which was the C4. Now they have it in the final game, and I can't wait to learn how to use that properly. And I can't wait to see which Titan fits me the best. Which out of those 6 Titans works the best?
Satchel charge. I got so many kills with that in Titanfall 1, and I loved it as well. I thought it was awesome.
Man. It's the you won't even have to hook people in order to kill people in midair once you have that satchel charge. Just throw it in midair, boom, they're dead.
Yeah. And it's great for clearing out those campers that love to camp and squatting corners, and just cleans them up real well. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to it.
I'm kind of curious how well the tactics will be used with the satchel charges on getting the Titan's battery down. I'm actually, because that's actually going to be quite useful, because I use that in a trick in a Titanfall 1 to kill a Titan with 2 with C4s, and the Titan actually died. So it was actually kind of interesting. But you also got to keep in mind, out of the 6 Titans, they're all on different levels. So you got to be careful on which one you're actually going against. But I'm looking forward to seeing which one is going to be my favorite to use, because I only mainly use Scorched. I only mainly use Scorched in the pre-alpha, and that guy took a while to learn the nicks and crannies on how to use them. But once I learned how to use them, it was awesome. So. And compared to what the other ones can do, I mean, I think that can hold a humongous chain gun. That takes a while to boot up, but I can see it.
Yeah, and another thing, man, like a lot of people are complaining and saying, you can't ride the Titan and shoot into the top of it anymore, and just sit on top of it. And I mean, I do not have a problem whatsoever.
No, but what you can do is you can jump on it, you can take its battery out, and then you can rinse and repeat, and then that's how you take the Titan down. I mean,
exactly.
Because think of it from Titanfall 1's tactic was you basically jumped on top of it and you shot it till its health depleted. And number 2, now what you're doing is you're taking its battery out to deplete its health, but it's going to take you longer to do it, because now you actually have to jump on it more times than you did in number 1, and you can't stay on it.
Respawn was quite clever with what they've done. I mean, the battery glows bright green, so if you're running around with that battery on your back waiting to keep it for your own Titan and you're being a little bit greedy, you
can give it to an ally Titan as well. You can give it to your teammate's Titan to increase their health, which is actually pretty cool.
I mean, and it just makes the game more tactical. You have to make that choice whether you're going to be greedy and keep it until your Titan lands, or pass it on to the next player. But you do stand out. They stand out, like dog's nuts, mate. You see them from a distance with the glowing green battery pack on them, and you just take them out, And then you've got the batteries.
That's the other thing. If you're holding the battery, you stand out like a sore thumb. Someone can see you and shoot you.
Mm.
And but I gotta say they didn't nerf the cloak as big as I thought they would nerf it. So I was actually quite surprised about that. So the fact that the cloak is still there and it's still workable and it's still usable, that actually helps me out a lot.
You do hear people complain about the cloak and that as well. They say, "Oh, but the cloak, you can see it too easily when people have cloaked and you're a pilot, you can see the person easy." And they forget that the cloak is designed for the people in Titans. That's what it's for. It's not for fighting against pilots. You do not cloak and then go after pilots. It's
No, you cloak so the Titans can't see you on the
they're
ground as easily.
exactly, man. Exactly. It's a lot hard. It's almost impossible to see a cloaked pilot when you're in a Titan. But if you're a pilot yourself and you're running around, you got no problem at all seeing a cloaked pilot. So people just need to be aware that it's not cheesy or it's not a bad thing. It's just specifically designed to take on Titans, not pilots. So don't go running at any pilots if you're a pilot, basically. So yeah.
And I like how the smart pistol is now added as a secondary now, which is actually kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's no longer a primary, which is actually a good thing.
Yeah, and it seems a bit longer to lock on from what I've seen as well.
Yeah, I saw that. It took longer for the guy to actually lock onto it using it. So, but at least it's now being used as a secondary and not a primary. So that's a positive. So you can have your rifle and your smart pistol. So, it's just like,
isn't it? From what I thought, it was more of a like something that you had to earn, similar to your Titan. Like it wasn't automatically just there. You had to actually, from what I've seen in the video clips, it seems to be you have to earn it. Similar to how you have to earn your amped, how you amp your gun.
I'm sure you gotta earn it by leveling up. I have no doubt they're not gonna give you the smart pistol right off the bat. I'm pretty sure that's probably like a level 15 or a level 20 weapon to receive.
Yeah,
that'd be kind of funny though.
Yeah, it would be, wouldn't it? But I was never ever a fan of the smart pistol, mate. I never used it, and I'm very similar. Like, I didn't just get there and use every single weapon. I mean, I used the weapons I needed to gen up, and I didn't go to Gen 10. I got to Gen 6 or something like that, and I just stopped because I found what worked for me, and that's what I tend to do in the game. I tend to find what works for me best and what makes me a more lethal player, and then I'll stick with that. If I get bored with that, then I'll change it up. But whatever makes me the most lethal player I can be in that game, that's what I'll stick with.
Oh, okay.
That's just me personally, anyway.
Okay, well, I think we covered everything we had to cover in this show. We've definitely been going for more than an hour. I appreciate those who have actually stuck with us and listened to us talk. Thank you so much, guys. If make sure you check out Aussie Gamer's channel. He's new on YouTube, but he actually has his Titanfall rant video was very funny and it was very hilarious. You guys got to check it out. Go check him out. Also, if you have yet to subscribe to my channel, please do so. I am very close from my 300 holiday goal of subscribers. So if you guys are new to my channel, please leave a sub. And I will be working on Xenoverse 2 tomorrow, and I will be doing an impressions video on later that in the week. And of course, you'll see lots of Titanfall 2 content from me. And of course, I'm sure Aussie Gamer will do the same. And that will be later next weekend. And I will see you guys on Beastfire tomorrow. So thanks so much for tuning in. And this is T Reaper. Aussie Gamer, you want to give a closing statement?
Yeah, no worries. Thanks for having me on, Reaper. I really appreciate it, mate. If anyone wants to check me out on Twitter, they can at _ Aussie Gamer and then an underscore again, and that'll lead you to my YouTube channel. There are quite a few Aussie gamers on YouTube at the moment, so just bear with it if you're having trouble finding it. Look for that kangaroo with the boxing gloves and the green background, and hit me up. Watch my videos. If you like them, give them a like. Sub up if you like. If you don't, you tell me what you think of me. I don't care, mate. So, yeah. Just thanks for having me on anyway, Rick. So I appreciate it, mate.
No problem, man. It was fun. This was fun tonight. Thanks so much, guys, for checking me out. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and remember Xenoverse 2 tomorrow, Titanfall at the end of the week, and also Beastfire tomorrow on Next Gen 720's channel. I'll check you guys later. Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Love you all.